This Kentucky Derby Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Shady Rays. SGPN is teaming up with Shady Rays for Shady May. Get 50% off your Shady Rays using promo code SGPN, and then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win $500. We're also brought to you by our Kentucky Derby contest. Winner gets a $100 SGPN gift card exclusively on the SGPN app.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Long, Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Sorry, outdoor event. I was just getting ready. Forgot to put the shades on.
Oh, we are extra shady here. Shady Ray, Shady May. Got my horse racing glasses on. It's Derby time, Ryan.
So it was brought to my attention. Shout out to long time never called in. So what do you say there? Long time never. But shout out to old friend Nick, who reached out and said, reminded me of a time that we had a buddy who we called Shady Ray.
Huh.
He was Shady Ray because he would never hang out to play cards, and he would disappear. And we finally tracked him down. He was just going to like ugly chick's house to hook up. Anyway, he was Shady Ray. So if you were being shady, you were trying to hook up with someone who you didn't want people to know.
Well, and Shady Rays now has those fat deals and massive discounts.
Oh, that's
breaking the scales of what would be a normal great deal. ShadyRays.com, promo code SGPN. Joining us on the line all the way in jolly old England. You know him from the MLB Gambling Podcast and the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, Mr. Malcolm Bamford. What's happening, Malcolm?
Good evening, lovely boys. How we doing? I've got a bit of a bad back from carrying the network all day, but you know I'll get over it. Working class hero and all that. So looking forward to. This is our 4th year doing this now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. It's got a little bit out of hand, frankly.
4 years. That's when sex stops being exciting, right? Are you still excited, Malcolm?
Well, do you know? Well, funnily enough, I've had to invent my own game tonight. I've made myself a little bingo card because pretty much we always talk about the same shit every year, don't we? We make ourselves laugh. Like familiarity is what we like at our age. So I'm going to cross off the things that crop up on my little bingo card and see if I can't award myself a prize later on. So if you hear me shout bingo, that's why.
Hashtag Legends only.
I love it. And joining us as well from the Notorious OTB, our horse racing show, the Wolf himself, the Wolf of Oaklawn. What's happening, Wolf?
Not a whole lot. Just excited for Kentucky Derby week. Like it's been just a grind getting to it. Anytime I hang out with Mal is like the best day of the year. So I get like 6 good days a year typically, when I get to record with them. So I'm just pumped for whatever just bit of like Mary Poppins-y bit of logic you can drop on us. Like
it's always great when you get to learn a new phrase or word from Malcolm. Well, I started using I'm like a bird in an eclipse. I've started using that in my own talking because it's such a great slogan.
Well, it starts by us exclusively saying Derby. We're no longer calling it a Derby. It's a Derby. All right.
I used my favorite Malism since Pussy was a kitten at Christmas, and my dad looked at me crazy.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. Here we go. We're talking horses. Of course, again, tons of great action.
I hate to interrupt, but I'm looking at Mal and he's giving me, who's the financial guy who has the button he smashes?
Jim Kramer. Bye.
Do you have a button on the table, Malcolm?
You need Malcolm. Where's your rolled up newspaper? Do you guys do that in England too, or is that a strictly American?
I have no idea what any of you are talking about.
Yeah.
However, that is one of the squares on my bingo card. Is Chase making a reference that I don't understand? So we're already in. We've got two of them
Cash
already.
that.
Oh,
Cash that. Let's go.
And by the way, the shout out to it being Derby week and that video of the guy bent over like he's riding a horse, smacking his own ass in the OTB has recirculated. It's almost up there with the Tiger King Good Morning video.
Oh, there's one I sent in the Slack. I'll have to put it in the Discord. It is it's a French anatomy book where it was comparing the human body to the horse's body, and the guy is bent over like a horse, and he's placed in what is most the most unfortunate of placements there. Kramer,
There
if
was
you can
either
bring
way too much thought or way not enough thought put into that picture.
I'm gonna go with way not enough, but yeah, 100% we can make this.
Kramer,
happen.
try and pull that up. While you're doing that, let's kick things off talking about the Kentucky Oaks, aka Race 11 on Friday. You got, what do we got here? 1 1/8 mile, 1.25 million on the line.
Well, Sean Ann potentially sounds like greater than 50% chance I may be at the old Santa Anita.
Oh, okay.
Taking in some off track action here in the vibes of an actual track. So excited.
Yeah. And this is, of course, is fillies only. So just the ladies here for the Kentucky Oaks Race 11. Mal, what do you make of this Kentucky Oaks? Any leans here?
Yeah, I've been listening to the Notorious OTB this week, and can I just say that show makes me laugh. Quite dangerous levels when I'm driving the van about. Like I've mounted more than one curb this week while I've been laughing at Sean. So
it's been banned on scooters. You can't listen to it on a scooter legally anymore.
It's dangerous. This race is wide open, really, really wide open. There's a 14 runner field, so it's a little bit less harem scarum than the Derby that we're going to get to in a little while. So you could make a case for a hell of a lot of these horses, actually. There is one that stands out to me. And actually, I looked at Chase's show notes earlier on, and we've got a couple of similar selections. So I was quite pleased that I was going a different way, because we don't want to throw out the same animals. The horse I like for this is a horse called Southlawn, which is an 8-1 shot. The horse was injured as a 2-year-old. So was pretty unexposed coming into this race here. Won the Fairgrounds Oaks. And that race has been traditionally a really good pointer for the Kentucky Oaks. She's been working well. And I just think she's a great price. She's 8-1. The favourite is a justified favourite. You can see why she's at the head of the market. A horse called Wet Paint at 5-2. Well connect.
Wet Paint.
Yeah,
what a horrible name. What a horrible. What Malcolm? What is the reasoning behind calling a horse Wet Paint? Am I missing?
I get a little bit annoyed about this because someone like me, like the owning of a racehorse, such a noble animal, would be absolutely incredible. There used to be a horse would run up in Newcastle. It was called Left Nostril. And I couldn't get my head around that. I was like, why would someone spend however X hundreds of thousands of pounds on this noble thoroughbred and call it Left Nostril?
They've spent hundreds of thousands of pounds on cocaine.
Yeah, I think
that is possible.
Maybe it's the preferred nostril of the owner. if I had
really
to guess.
weird.
Very odd.
So yeah,
but Wet Paint's the favorite here.
I like Southlawn. Wet Paint. She is a 3-time Oaklawn winner, so Chase will probably be able to tell you more about her. But yeah, Southlawn for me. And there's a horse that I did like, but she's just so a little bit white. Horse called Pretty Mischievous. Really consistent. Is drawn wide, which isn't ideal, but hopefully could follow Southlawn home. But yeah, you know me, I don't go for. I did for the Derby. I've got one of those crazy throwing out a load of number things that you boys like. But for this, plain and simple, one pick, the winner, Southlawn at 8-1.
All right, I like it. Keep it simple. Southlawn. That's all you need.
And just for those who get down at faraway places, you can find a Southlawn future for as much as 9-1.
Ooh, okay.
Offshore. So, if you if you think the number is going to change, especially, you can lock it in here. play those filthy horse markets, and they
Well,
just
yeah, and of course, obviously the price if you're doing the true parimutuel can go all over the place, but you
It's
can also
dynamic.
bet the
perfect
futures.
gambling. It's crazy.
You can also bet the futures of big races, and that obviously is locked in. So if you think the price is going to go down, obviously get ahead of it. Lock those futures in. Chase, I don't see Southlawn on your sheet. Who do you like to win the Kentucky Oaks here?
So I think that Wet Paint is a very worthy favorite, 7-2 for Godolphin with Brad Cox. I'm going off the reservation with this horse in this angle, guys. The 10, Flying Connection at, I believe, 15-1 now on the morning line. Here we go. The horse has been running at Sunland Park and Zia Park in New Mexico. What do we think about people coming down in elevation, guys?
Yeah,
this
wait.
horse,
Does this also does the elevation theory also apply to
Why
horses?
wouldn't it? It's air.
yeah.
That's true.
It's
Yeah,
air.
I mean, the horse literally won the last few races without breathing. It's going to be a, it's going to be a speedball out on the front. I did my notes, and then after that, the thoroughgraphs came out. I checked it. And now I'm even more into this horse. So yeah, Flying Connection at 15-1. I'm hoping for a gate to wire job, and the horse just, has Michael Phelps genes or something.
Now, to clarify for non-horse racing, some of the listeners, non-horse racing experts, gate to wire job. Can you clarify that is not?
That is a disgusting.
That is a gate to wire job means just winning from beginning to end, right?
Yeah. Here, we'll try from gate pop to clock stop. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah, no, it's a front running win. You are in first the entire way around. I think that's the way that Flying Connection is going to have to get it, and she's likely going to have to hold off Wet Paint late. I've been against Wet Paint in every single one of her races, and she keeps proving me wrong. So hopefully that doesn't happen, and she finishes second behind Flying Connection.
Impressively, you can get down for $5,000 on these futures.
Really?
In faraway places.
Wow.
Impressively. Flying
So they accept
Connection.
half units. Cool.
Yeah. Flying Connection is 20-1 in that futures market.
Really? Okay. So sprinkle on each ride.
Just gonna, and you'd hate to not have a little action when you're at the track.
I mean, again,
and real quick, I wanted to clean something up because we didn't get to it. But Malcolm earlier was talking about when he was driving about in the van, listening to Chase, and I could have sworn he said Mount Curbs, and it made me think maybe that bringing it back to my buddy Shady Ray. Maybe he was Mountain Curbs. That could be code for Malcolm. When Malcolm's out Mountain Curbs, he's actually mountain road curbs, or
you don't know what he's getting into. Ryan, were you able to pull up that photo?
What do you mean? Was I able to?
Okay, because
it's always a matter of when, not if.
Yes, this is delightful for the YouTube.
Is that big enough? I don't. If you, I don't.
You need to watch this.
Yeah, Malcolm and Chase. You'd have to. See, I'm just showing the image from Slack.
Wait. This is great. So I'm going to lean back, and I think I can point.
Oh yeah,
right at where you have it.
And I can wait. So there.
He's one of those guys who will get
So
penetration.
I love the fact that this image is showing the reference points of how big a human is and how big a horse is and how they fit together like a Russian doll.
But a Russian nesting doll. This is just really amazing.
But at what point did someone in the QA process say, well, let's wait a second now. Someone may think that this horse is fucking a human.
No, it never came up. I mean, it's even just the guy pretending to be a horse next to the horse and pointing out their like different organs and bones.
Wow.
That is funny. But the placement of the man just easy nailed it in the YouTube chat, saying that's how centaurs are made.
Well,
just
be
amazing.
careful. I wouldn't ever type something like horse core into your Google browser.
No need for that.
Don't do that.
Before the Derby, don't Google hot horse tips. It doesn't end well.
Yeah, unfortunately, horses have been misused over the years. All right.
We're gonna get to Saturday's races. Before we do, shout out to Shady Rays. They're teaming up with us, SGPN, for Shady May. Not only do you get the amazing Shady Ray shades for 50% off when you use the promo code SGPN. But you also get a chance of winning $500. That's right, $500. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win the $500. All you gotta do is send in your Shady Rays receipt using promo code SGPN, obviously, and you get some awesome shades. Hey, maybe you're headed to the race. Maybe you're like Ryan, you're just gonna hang out at the track at Santa Anita. Summer is here, spring is here. Shady Rays are just perfect. Awesome eye protection, dominating the world of shades. And lost or broken replacement policy. Maybe a horse destroys your sunglasses. Do they wear sunglasses in the Kentucky Derby? They should. It would give you a nice edge with those polarized shades. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady and shadyrays.com, promo code SGPN.
Perhaps that picture that we just showed on screen, that I'll bring it back up. Perhaps this is why Shady Rays doesn't ask. Is this maybe the reason they don't want to know? This is how the
lost and replacement policy. No questions asked.
Well, the inspector's like, hey, it kind of looks like your glasses broke on the back knee knuckle of a front leg of a horse. How'd that happen, sir?
No questions asked. All right, moving over to Saturday. I know, Chase, you had some tips here for the Twin Spires Turf Sprint Stakes, aka Race 7, 500K up for grab, 5.5 furlongs. What do you like here, Chase?
Well, for one, it's a huge field. Great thing about this weekend is a lot of these races have gigantic fields. You have them overfilled, so if people scratch, you still get everyone in the gate. This is another one of those. I want to say there are like 19 horses entered for this. But I know my company, and two, noticed something on the turf races this week, which is the speed is really carrying. And I've got a horse on the rail who doesn't fill out his fruit of the looms. Number one, No Balls, 20-1. Who apparently just once you lose your testicles, lightning, like you're quick. But yeah, I've been watching this horse race up at Woodbine in Canada through some of their tougher races. This horse can fly early, and if he's cranked up ready for this, there's a good chance that he could get out front and not get caught. So I will be win betting No Balls, but I've got a few horses that I'm going to tuck in with that in an exacta, and that's the 6 Bad Beat Brian at 15-1. Who should be in that next wave of pace behind the leader. And then the deeper closer 11 Notorious at 8-1.
I'm in.
So how are we betting all of these?
Yeah. What's the approach here, Chase?
Let's just say someone was playing along at home. What would they want to do here?
So you're going to give yourself a little bit of insurance if you bet, win, play, show. If you're just the at home casual player, a 20-1 shot, you bet at win, play, show. Even if it misses the board, there's a good chance you can still make a profit on your $6. An exacta box here. Also, we're putting 3 horses in. It doesn't matter who finishes first or second, just as long as one of those 3 horses are first and second. And 3 horses together, 3 chances to get 2 spots, $6. Hardcore horse players knock the boxing things, but there's nothing wrong with it. Don't let them.
Whoa. What? They don't like it because you're throwing away EV on the obvious. Like, right. You should just be like, don't be afraid to go up and say, I want the, 5 with the 5-6. Like, all right, but that's bullshit, because going up and saying I want to box something's way easier. A, B, you're talking to a computer and they have that nice box checkbox, and then all you got to do is check 3 boxes.
Yeah, you're also enough. You're saying that every single horse has the exact same shot to win, which it doesn't. Inherently, it doesn't. And but still, I mean, especially when there are these huge fields, chaos happens. There's nothing wrong with boxing. I think way too highly of myself, and we'll probably put No Balls in first, and then 6 and 11 in second place in exacta.
He's a sharp though.
Sharp.
That's like that's how I play my pick 5s. I play those much sharper than my box. Ryan did walk
in and he's like, I drained the horse racing account the other day. I was down to $1, and then I did don't mind me, just hit a pick 3. $1 wins 127. I'm back in. That's the first thing he said to me this morning at the office.
I mean, if you're not a follower of the God's Eye Twitter account, you're
missing out on some potential videos of Ryan watching horse races.
You're probably just getting crap that Colby's retweeting from his fucking old football account. But if you see a picture of God's Eye, we generally have the ponies going, and I've been a couple days over the last couple weeks. I kind of went hard.
Go hard or go home. Hey, enough messing around. Let's get down to the Kentucky Derby itself. Malcolm, as always, I got your article up here as a guide. We haven't talked, I don't think on air, or maybe we did a little bit with some of the other races. But Rich Strike was won last year at 80-1, a last second replacement.
When was it replaced?
Yeah, I think it was almost day of, right, Malcolm? What happened?
Less than 24 hours, I think.
Yeah, there was just a late scratch. Obviously, there's been a late scratch to the Kentucky Derby field just about 2 hours ago, Sean, that you were late with me to. That a horse called Practical Moves dropped out. Even just before we came on air, I saw there was a horse running riot down the back stretch. I think it might have been a horse that's in the Oaks. And Tell Me No Lies. The horse that's entered in the Oaks got loose and was just having a lovely
horse and a Derby horse both get loose, and I think they just like met up and hung out like Romeo and Juliet style.
Wow!
All right.
So it doesn't take much for one of them to bang a fetlock or something like that, and that's it. Scratch. So yeah, Rich Strike. The first thing I wrote in that article today, Sean, was don't let me or anyone else put you off backing anything in this field, because, for example, Rich Strike will come out to 80-1, a complete and utter afterthought last season, an afterthought, and it won like it was pulling a cart as well. It looked like it just joined in when it came down the stretch. It was absolutely outstanding. So yeah, if you fancy anything, don't let any of this rubbish that Megan Chase are telling you put you off at all.
I got I have the winner of this year. I will reveal it at the end of the show. But it's still fun, obviously, to talk and break down handicapping.
And it's what happens when the pace gets pushed so hard by the Japanese horses, and so you level everyone out, and then obviously it's a crapshoot. And you're gonna have variance. Come on, Sean. Everyone knows this. Oh, what happened?
Mal, what about overall Kentucky Derby handicapping? Like you pick up the sheet, you're doing some. You got
a mint julep probably.
Yeah,
right?
He's cracked open his mint julep. He's got his ascot on. He's got he's got his little eyeglass from Shady Ray.
Monocle.
We got to get a Shady Ray monocle for Malcolm when he's doing his horse handicapping. Are you a guy who looks at pole position? Are you a trainer, jockey? What is advanced horse analytics?
Ass cream.
What do you arse cream?
Bingo, arse cream.
Oh, nice. You got a bingo? Fuck
yeah.
I've got.
All right, you got to read off the squares.
Bird in an eclipse. The bingo was bird in an eclipse, arse cream, and Chase making a reference I don't understand. The ones we missed are the Bob Baffert glasses, Cyberknife, Sean talking about Country House, or Chase talking about drugs. They were the four that weren't on there.
Country House.
Bingo.
We got a drug reference in with the nostril, and I was gonna make a note of Cyberknife, obviously.
Sean.
Unfortunately, he's not running in this event. But Mal, what are you doing? How should a amateur start? What's an easy entry point in handicapping?
Kind of everyone's got their own way of doing it, and the more you handicap and the longer time you spend doing it, you'll find things that you like doing. Be exactly the same as when you sit down to look at an NFL card.
Yeah,
you'll have your own starting point. So if you're a real beginner, look for maybe a jockey that you like, a jockey who's hitting at 15% at that meeting. Then, regardless, you've got a 1 in 6 chance, giving yourself a 1 in 6 chance of winning that race. It might be a trainer that you like. The more you get into it, you can look at the breeding. You might like a particular sire. A race like this one, for me, there's kind of two types of horses. There's horses that we know about. So Forte, the favourite, has got the form in the book. It's performed as a 2-year-old. It's trained on really nicely from 2 till 3. So we kind of have a body of work. There's then other horses like King's Barnes further down the list, and there's the more inexperienced type. So I would call these unexposed horses. And this is what I like. I like the horses that how much improvement have they got? We know what Forte is going to do. Which horses can improve past 40? I watched a couple of races this afternoon over here, and that's the first thing I look for is, right, okay, there was a 9-year-old sprinter in one race, and I thought, okay, I know exactly what that's good. That's not getting any better. That's 9. Can these 4 or 5-year-olds improve past it? So yeah, that's what I look for. But like I say, as a beginner, you will find something. You'll hook onto something that you like once you picked a winner, and just keep looking for it, and then you'll add in to your body of knowledge and go from there.
Like it. A lot of head nodding there, Chase. When Mal was talking, what do you want to add as far as like handicapping tips for beginners just hopping into the Derby?
When it comes to for beginners, I think I was talking to someone on my pod earlier today about this. There's so much more that companies are doing with like data visualization with horse racing stuff. You have things like optics EQ, which if you understand the key of a square versus a circle and where it fits on a quadrant, you can just Rain Man through a card. Like I've seen people who are terrible at handicapping turn into pretty good just because it hits them that well. My recommendation is, one, watch a lot of races, understand how races are run, because you kind of understand the tactics and you can kind of start seeing what each horse needs to do. Other than that, if you're going to be into this, like there's no halfway. Like you're all the way in.
All right, I like it. All right, so hey, if you're just starting out handicapping the Kentucky Derby, know that you're going to commit to this for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Go all in.
Yeah.
Become a
Wait,
degenerate.
I think we have a shot of what it looks like to get into horse. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Oh man, you are all in on the horse
wow,
racing.
that's crazy. It's crazy how you fit right there. It seems like
into
it'd be
horse
too,
racing, you got a bruised lung.
I was gonna say it seems like it'd be too big.
All right, let's talk about some specific horses. Fellow friend of the program was just on talking USFL. CJ Sullivan, aka the man in the box.
Does he have a system for the Derby?
He was. He told me, he goes, my horse I like, Derma Sotogake. I probably mispronounced it.
Did you say Bukake?
Yeah, Derma Bukake, 10-1 Japanese horse. Coming from the UAE Derby, did pretty well. Mal, I know you are a fan of Derma. A Japanese horse has never won the Derby, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And so you're on Derma though. You like Derma?
Derma Sotogake is the one that got the smudge of doom next to its name once I had put a line through all the other 19 and it's fun. Yeah, there's various reasons for it. The Japanese horse racing industry have taken huge strides in recent years. They've won a lot of the big European races. They've had the winner of the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe over here in Paris. They've used kind of American breeding. They've won Breeders' Cup races. So they've won everything except this race. This horse, Derma Sotogake, has been globe trotting recently. He was third in the Saudi Derby and won the UAE Derby, which is a great two. 5.5 things. The most visually pleasing piece of evidence that we've got on this race is that UAE Derby win from Derma Sotogake. It's a bit of a character. You get some horses that are just really professional. This thing's got a little bit about him. We'll need to focus, but I think he's 10-1. It's inevitable. That was the word I used when I wrote that article today. It's inevitable that I would say in the next 5 to 10 years, Japanese horses are going to start winning races like this. The only drawback, the big drawback, is that he got stall 17. And stall 17 has never won a Kentucky Derby in 148 attempts. So he's got the weight of history on his shoulders. However, nothing ever changed by staying the same. So I think Derma Sotogake is the one for me.
So is it worth noting? So I'm on japanracing.jp. I'm on their FAQ. Okay. And it says that in Japan, the race courses that run counterclockwise are Tokyo, Chikoyo, Niigata, and that's it. Everything else runs clockwise, which I think is we run counterclockwise. Correct? So all right, Sean, horse are basically like fucking deer. Their brains are basically fight or flight. Any chance they can turn the other direction.
I mean, I was confused. I can only imagine at the horses. Then you got the time difference flying over from Japan.
Right, they're pretty progressive in Japan. They let their horses go both ways.
Yeah, clockwise and countercolockwise.
Does that matter?
Mal. So Japanese horse. What is Wolf. What does a Japanese horse really mean? It Japanese owners, correct?
Yeah, Japanese owners. It's bred in Japan. So the horses that breed, the Japanese horse could be American-born horses, but it's like citizenship. It's where the foal drops is where you end up being from. So you'll see like people get better stock, ship it in just in time for the mayor to have the baby in that country, or well, not necessarily in that country. It happens more here in these states because you'll have state restricted races. But also the Japanese are just kind of throwing caution to the wind with their breeding practices, meaning they're just not doing the normal things that we do. They're putting more value on different things like, mares as opposed to stallions. And they're really just kind of moneyballing breeding. And Mal said inevitable. He's right. It is inevitable until a Japanese horse gets one, if not multiple, of these, big races.
Now you're also, what's your take on Derma in the Kentucky Derby? How do you feel about Derma?
Well, for one, I know for a fact why Mal loves Derma is because that last race at the UAE Derby was so visually impressive. And also because no one on the Eastern Hemisphere has a stopwatch. Apparently they just don't pay attention to time. So like visually
don't give a shit.
Yeah,
don't care less about that.
Yeah, it's because they do like loop-de-loops and stuff in their tracks. So they don't care. Like, how we time that? But with Derma, I mean, I really like the horse. I really think that it's going to be the early speed in this race. I think it's going to send. And, I don't think that we're going to have an exceedingly fast pace like we did last year. I think it's actually going to be a lot slower than a lot of people think. But I'm starting to cool on Derma because Derma drew the 17 post. No horse has ever won the Kentucky Derby. I'm still going to bet it. Because one, if a horse wins from the 17 and is Japanese, I want that ticket.
That's kind of fun.
I'm starting to lean and get really excited about number 6, King's Barn, 12-1, hopefully giving King Charles a nice Coronation Day present. This Todd Pletcher trainee has only run 3 career starts. It is a bullet out of the gate. A lot of people with the Derby Trail, people put their speculation into horses, and it's all a lot like college football recruiting. Like they're all kind of juniors now. Like we'll figure out if they're any good or anything. Up until then, it's all speculation. They just might not turn out. But I really like Kingsbarn, even though he doesn't have very much seasoning. And I think he drew a great post position at 6, being inside. The other one I kind of liked was the 2, Verifying, for Brad Cox. He's going to have a hell of a weekend, I think, just as many times as I've picked him to win different races. It's a bigger price, but right now I'm leaning towards, if I'm going to bet 2, it's going to be Derma Sotogake and Kingsbarn to win.
Ooh, I like it. Hey, we got I'll give out my pick here in just a second. Will it be
Kramer's
like the
time picks. You pick Country House?
Well, I don't want to bring that up. I mean, Malcolm's already cashed his bingo card. Speaking of cash, make sure you go to underdogfantasy.com. Use the promo code SGPN. Get the 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Best Ball Mania 4 is here. $50 million of prizes up for grabs. That is insane. I've already drafted some teams already. Love drafting Best Ball. And again, NBA, NHL, MLB, they got you covered for a ton of stuff. Highly recommend underdogfantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. And of course, get in our $100 gift card derby contest exclusively on the SGPN app. And make sure you toss a rating review in the Notorious OTB podcast for a chance to win the Fallen Bob painting, Bob Bamford original from the Wolf himself. Now, Mal, I know you also like King's Barns. So what's your take on King's Barns and any other horses we haven't talked about that you really like?
Yeah, as much as obviously we don't all want to pick the same stuff. Me, myself and Chase independently both arrived at these conclusions. King's Barns is the 3rd of the Todd Pletcher trio that are in there. Pletcher has the favourite, 40. He has the 2nd favourite and Tap It Twice. And this is the one that's unexposed, as I explained earlier on. So this is the one I think can improve past those are the 2. We know what the other 2 are capable of. King's Barnes had 3 starts, hasn't been stretched in those 3 starts, So we haven't got to the bottom of Kingsbarns. We don't know what he's capable of. Won the Louisiana Derby wire to wire, and Todd Pletcher knows the time of day. He's perfectly capable of sending this out to get past the other two. I think you have to take the top one, the favourite Forte, into account just because of that body of work. Won 5 in a row, won 3 Grade 1s. I've heard this. I've got a little analogy for you boys. Actually, the Forte here is the Patrick Mahomes of this race. Keeps finding himself in situations that he shouldn't be in, and then manages to get it done, annoying everyone in the process. Yeah, I read a little bit about that this week. And the second favourite, Tap It Trite, is Travis Kelce. This horse is a giant bit of equipment. It's the jockey. It's like riding a bike. This thing. If you're not riding this horse, he'll stop. He needs winding up. If he runs into a little bit of trouble, it's going to take him too long to get going again because he's just so big. He's got the further he goes, the better he goes. But 20 horses crushed around him, he's going to need a dream run to go to get through. So yeah, Kingsbarns, and then I've got one more, which is a big price, 40 to 1. The horse is called Reincarnate because I just think he might get to the front. He's won off the front before. He was pestered last time he got to the front, didn't enjoy it. So if he gets a soft lead here, and there is some trouble in behind, he might just run into a place because everything else might run out of time to catch him up. So my 4 will be 17 Dermasotogake, 6 Kingsbarns, 15 Forte, and 7 Reincarnate.
Love it. Love the 40 to 1. And you say Kingsbarn is the one that you compare to Travis Kelce, right?
No, that's the Tap It Trice. That's the second favorite.
Okay.
The big grade.
A couple follow-up questions for Malcolm. Kingsbarn, I'm able to find a top 5 finish at plus 175. Is that intriguing to us?
That's like finding money in the street, Brian. Yes.
Oh, all right.
Ryan did use that. Ryan also used that expression earlier today. He goes, "Oh,
beautiful."
Look." He goes, "Look, I just found money in the street."
I'm gonna invest a first. This is a Thursday night football game. First touchdown payload. I'm gonna dump on this Kingsbarn first touchdown.
Okay.
Or sorry, top 5 finish.
You're confusing the piece of equipment known as Travis Kelce with the piece of equipment known as Kingsbarn. All right, I will reveal my Derby winner. Okay, here we go.
Oh,
Are you going
to listen to the experts?
The trainer. I like both plays. I will be getting down on Reincarnate with Malcolm.
Kind of an egg.
No, I'm saying they both like.
They did a great job.
Dermasotogake. I like that. But what I'll be doing is I will be getting down on this horse. Now he's trained by Brad Cox. You might know him from training Essential Quality. I'm sure he cheats. They all cheat.
Pletcher, because Pletcher cheats.
The jockey Manny Franco. He's 0-4 in the Derby, aka he's due.
Only 4.
He did get Tiz the Law into second back in 2020, and this horse, it's a stalker, gray colt built for the Derby. Your 2023 Kentucky Derby winner, Hit Show from the first poll. I know. Malcolm has called it the coffin box. Does have 8 winners from the poll number 1. Last winner though was all the way back in 1986. That changes today, aka Saturday.
Yeah.
Hit Show 30 to 1 is my fun play here.
Wow. Okay.
Chase, aka the Wolf. How say you on Hit Show?
I actually like the horse to maybe try to get up into the exotics, like into the top 4. I think that it's going to get a great trip. It's going to be saving ground. They're going 1.25 miles. That's longer than most of these horses are ever going to go again. And I think that, like you said, you mentioned Brad Cox. Like it's going to be absurd how many races he wins this weekend. Hopefully that does not end up on freezing cold takes. It's I like it, but maybe to bet it to place to show.
Okay. I like it. A little safe. And I do, Mal, I'd love to get your take. The late scratch. I'm blanking here on pulling up the horse name, but the one that just dropped in, as a replacement,
Cyclone Mischief.
Cyclone Mischief. Any take on that horse, Mal?
short answer is no. If you give me 3 or 4 seconds, I can tell you a little bit about it. Just off the top of my head, Sean, the horse would be the third son of Into Mischief to win the Kentucky Derby. Third place finishes behind, I'm not reading this, third place finishes behind champion Forte in the Fountain of Youth, and the Florida Derby suggests Southlawn Mischief has the talent to factor. And his pedigree doesn't disagree, Sean. So that's the information.
What do you think we'll get, Wolf? What do you right off the top of your head? That's very impressive. Wolf,
I think that's right.
Wolf, what do you think of Cyclone Mischief? What are we talking price wise?
I think you'll probably see 75-ish to 1 on Cyclone Mischief. I understand everyone's very terrified of what happened last year. It's not Cyclone Mischief that I like. I want one more scratch to happen, because if this next horse ends up in another Japanese horse named Mandarin Hero that I actually like a lot, they've got it at 20 to 1. If this one ends up in, it's actually fast enough to compete. It's had a race in the United States, so you don't have to worry about the Dubai bounce thing. I want Mandarin Hero to hopefully draw in, but even though I worship a deity that is 1/3, 1/2 horse, 1/2 man, 1/2 Dale Romans, called the Dale Tar, trainer of Cyclone of Mischief, I'm out. I've been burned too many times. He's forsaken me.
Okay, Kramer, what do you got? Picks, Kentucky Derby. What are we doing?
Oh, well, I liked everything. I mean, honestly, so I
got a nice little sheet working.
Well, I keep it going, because I'm a lot of matchup props. It sounds like we should be favoring King's Barn in those. He's a little bit further down the board.
Okay,
feels like we should be betting on the Japanese horse. Is there like a first half bet we can? Actually, no. Here's what I wanted to ask the guys: is there an obvious shit horse here? Because I can also bet on last place.
Oh man, let me see. I would say probably
great handicap here.
It's going to be a lot of people like
probably the other Japanese thing. The only problem is some stuff gives up, so it might not be shit. But once it decides it can't win, the jockey will just give up. So there's quite a lot of them trying to finish last by that point. So
yeah, it seems like a fun like take maybe one of those favorites to just completely. Like the Japanese horse, he gets off to a rough start. He totally bails, comes in last place. Like I bet you can get a pretty good
Derma
Sogake. Yeah,
25 to 1 last place.
All right.
with the pace, I mean, they're all going to be going, and what's going to happen is naturally some of them are just going to be dead and drop. So I mean, you could take Derma Sotogake King's Barn verifying, and I'll sprinkle just a little bit, and I'm guarantee the odds are great to finish in last place. But it's all possible because of a pace meltdown if it happens.
Chase, I might have some breaking news for you. Yeah, I think Lord Miles has just scratched, which gets Mandarin Hero.
Wow,
we're in.
All right.
Oh wow.
Okay, so
Japanese horse with a panda house name. Okay, let's do it.
Now, since it's happening live on the air, I feel like I gotta get on.
Oh, and we think
so official long shot slate is obviously Hit Show.
What's the number? So it inherits the number.
It will be. I believe they'll slide it
22.
down.
21 is Cyclone Mischief and 22 is Mandarin Hero.
So it keeps the same number. Then it just slots into the spot in the post.
Yeah, there'll be 1920 in post. Yeah.
So Mandarin Hero, Hit Show, and Reincarnate. Betting them to win. Let's go.
So when someone scratches, everyone else slides down. Is that what you're saying? Oh, interesting.
All right, ooh. I like it. And Mandarin Hero now feels the horse of destiny.
Oh, okay, so
we got it late scratch live on the show.
Let me just read off.
Or late scratch into the card.
Make sure I didn't miss anything. We have we like Chase likes verifying. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. King's Barn, they both like. So I have double. That's thick ink around King's Barn.
King's Barn, I like your top 5 and head to head for King's Barn. That's what I'm doing.
Chase liked Reincarnate. Didn't talk a ton about it. Derma and Forte, but Forte is just
Forte's
him sprinkling in the fucking chalk like a real jabron. By the way, Sean, we can't have Forte win for the. I need to look up which horses we're fading for the experts draft that we're trying to win. And it sounds like the late introduction to what is it? Panda Hero,
Mandarin Hero,
Mandarin Hero. All right. That's
we got a full
horse.
slate.
Now I'm at the point where I got to do like a 25-cent superfecta to box this many horses. So we have what, six?
It's a $1 for the Derby, my man. But you could also win $500,000.
What do you mean
so.
it's $1? They don't let you go into.
No, I believe it's a $1 super. It's a 50-cent. It's a 50-cent trifecta.
Take my business offshore.
All right, we got to load up our accounts, Ryan. Get down on all this amazing horse racing action. Big thanks to the Wolf of Oaklawn. Again, make sure you subscribe to the Notorious OTB. Getting you ready for Derby week. Going deep. Again, tons of great picks. At of Oaklawn on Twitter. Make sure you check it out. Download the pod, subscribe, leave that review for a chance to win the Fallen Bob print, or also get in the Derby contest. $100 SGPN gift card up for grabs exclusively on the SGPN app. And of course, Mal Bamford, thanks for calling in. Check him out on the MLB Gambling Podcast, the Premier League Gambling Podcast. Find him on Twitter at Mal_B_sports. Smash! That subscribe button for us. Always appreciate that. Always appreciate people spreading the word. Tell a friend. Let's grow the DGen only nation.
Sean, real quick before we finish, if Kings Barnes wins, both of you will not be surprised.
No, not
No.
Okay, that's it. Football bet.
Let's go.
All right.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green, and he is Ryan.
Joe, I have some fucking serious action on Kings Barnes. Let's go.
Kramer, let it ride.